So we have Mind Your Biz with the ever-changing background. Mind Your Biz, how's it going today?
It's going great. Thanks for being back on. I'm actually in the studio, so this will not be changing during the show today.
Okay, all right. Looking good. Everyone's favorite Falconer, of course, Charles Hoskinson. He did one of his patented live streams that he loves to do. He said, crypto companies need to unbank themselves and use the term de-risk, saying this. And he followed up by saying digital securities could even kill traditional banking, saying this is going to be our arrow in the dark that might end up just, being the finishing blow here. Now, Mind Your Biz, I know this is near dear to your heart. I'm mostly just judging that because you love Monero. Maybe I'm leaping to a conclusion here, but is it possible to unbank anytime soon, or is this some dreamlike scenario that we'll always be fighting for that may never come to fruition?
That's a really tough question to answer, actually, DZ. So again, thanks for having me back on the channel. Always totally humbled to be on such incredible panels with such incredible speakers and such incredible achievers in this space. Just a reminder to the audience, if you're not already smashing like what are you doing with your life? Smash like immediately. But as far as getting unbanked and staying unbanked, that's really the trick, right? People try it. I'm sure you've tried it. Definitely, I've probably tried it as well. People on the panel have also tried it. We're into cryptocurrencies, so we know what our favorites are. And Monero is a really great option, but you wind up having to go with the gift card loophole, right? And so there's this last mile of still having to go buy something else with your crypto that empowers you at the point of sale to then be unbanked, so to speak. Now, there are some people for whom this is life and death internationally. They're never going to be banked because they're already unbanked, largely, right? Billions of people, in fact, who are unbanked. But already here in the United States, where we have this habit of using banks, where we have this habit of using debit cards, all the infrastructure that we've become accustomed to over the last several decades of our lives, or for as long as you've been around, if you're a Zoomer, like how are you going to move from having the convenience of the traditional system into just cryptocurrency? It does feel unobtainable. Now, there are people that do it though, and it's still just a question of how austere do you want to go? It'd be like going off grid immediately and only eating food from cans or being able to harvest something from the land, right? Go and hunt. It's a very, very austere thing to do. It's a very difficult transition for most people to make. The curve looks almost like, a wall. It's just very, very steep. And so being able to go from zero to fully unbanked or banked to fully unbanked, not for the faint of heart. But I do agree with Mr. Hoskinson. I do agree that there is real hope. And I think it's pretty obvious, and it's more obvious to more people than it's ever been before, that the traditional banking system is buckling under its own weight because it's a system of revolving debt. So when you talk about getting unbanked, it's starting to feel like common sense to the average Jane and Joe. And man, I'm here for it. I'm just here for it.
Do you have any particularly favorite gift cards? I'm looking at some. I'm online right now. I can get these Toys R Us ones and Circuit City ones really, really cheap, pennies on the dollar. Or does it really not matter? I mean, is Starbucks better than, say, Roblox?
No, I really do think that there's an arbitrage opportunity there on the Circuit City. But I want you to dive in first and tell me how that trade goes for you, DZ.
All right, I will do. And this giraffe is just so captivating. He's asking for money. I feel like I got to give it to him here.
And to answer your gift card question, there's no way that Mind Your Biz doesn't have a Cabela's gift card. There's no way he's not going to Cabela's every week.
All right. And you brought up Cabela's. I'd never heard of this before. I guess it's an American retailer specializing in hunting, fishing, boating, camping, shooting, and other outdoor recreation merchandise. Of course, Mind Your Biz really into boating, although he keeps getting in these accidents. Mind Your Biz, you got to learn how to navigate this boat where you stop crashing. Please.
I will not be kink shamed on this show. Thank you very much.
All right.
Keep going to Cabela's.
All right. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to stick with my Circuit Cities here. Credit Suisse, and their shares are way down following the financial meltdown that has happened in America. Now, Tim, do you think that this stock value plunge, was this in line with the risk associated with this asset, or just people seeing, oh, banks are failing, let me just maybe divest some of my holdings here?
When there's a pile of horse shit in the... not using words like that very often, but there's a pile of horse shit in the kitchen. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It doesn't change what it is.
Totally agree. Now, Mind Your Biz, he brought up the fact that they were defrauding investors. We have it up right here. In October of 21, they were fined
in the kitchen. Just a little bit. Sorry about that. It just that one's stuck. Tim, you broke my brain.
Yeah, it's incepted, and were you in my dreams last night? But the bank was fined $475 million. That is right, about $500 million by the U.S. and British authorities after they were caught up in a bribery scandal in Mozambique involving loans to state-owned companies there. You can see this took place between 2013 2016 to finance, surveillance and other projects, but were partly diverted for bribes. And they had to cancel $200 million owed by the country there, which then plunged into a serious financial crisis. So mind your biz. They're shaking this dead weight of, hey, you're a scammy bank. Why do we seem to care more about the stock fell 25% rather than they're bribing people to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars? Is that just fundamental human psychology? Is that media being manipulated? You have any theories?
Yeah, so I think my working theory, it's a really, really short answer, but let me get back to that in just a moment here. My my working theory is that we are able to forgive a lot in modern society. I mean, we're a lot of Western culture is designed on Judeo-Christian principles. We're able to forgive a lot. What we're not able to forgive is incompetence, Deezy. For the most part, not able to forgive incompetence, especially when it comes to handling our money collectively. This is our lifeblood, right? Especially when you talk about, I think we overheard earlier, when you got small children, when you're just starting out, like it's pretty serious stuff. If 25% of your household budget just went missing, went walkabout, and you could not pay for rent and you couldn't feed your children, you would probably reprioritize what you're willing to forgive. So yeah, as far as them having a shortfall on the balance sheet, as far as them being valued at almost 25% less, this becomes a less forgivable sin, if you will, in terms of banking because of the number of lives that it affects negatively. Now, you talk about bribes, you talk about misbehavior, right, in foreign lands, especially when it comes to developing nations. Now, I don't know what the full situation is in Mozambique. Don't live there, don't have friends in Mozambique, so I don't want to kind of paint a picture with broad strokes here. But in a developing nation, in some cases, the only way to get certain kinds of business done, unfortunately, is to grease certain palms. So whether or not all of this was totally malicious or it wound up being outright criminal, unfortunately, that's the cost of doing business in certain territories throughout the world. Even here in the Americas, that's the cost of doing business in certain countries, just here in the Americas. And maybe even some states, right? Like that definitely has been known to happen in the Windy City, and along the Eastern Seaboard. Sometimes bribes are just how business gets done. I'm not condoning it, but my eyes are wide open to that fact, Deezy. And so when you ask me, why are we more concerned about the stock price failing than Credit Suisse being involved in some bribes in a developing nation? To me, the answer is pretty cut and dried. It's pretty crystal clear that one of those two things will affect my family's ability to be fed immediately. The other one might just be a cost of doing business.
All right. Hopefully that isn't the cost of doing business. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I got to get in that business. Mind your biz. I mean, obviously there's a lot of issues when it comes to hackers using this malicious Solidity code. What is going to be the end result? Is it going to be scarier out there for the novice or not as scary for the novice? Because maybe someone develops a user-friendly ChatGPT assistant similar to the little famous Clippy, whatever his name was. Like, can we get that in the pockets of all the novices, or are all the tech-savvy people just going to pull the rug out from everybody?
Those are phenomenal questions to ask. I think as far as the sort of the ethics of working with AI, the ethics of working behind an AI, the ethics of having an AI work beside you or having your own little army of AI minions, we have to ask all these questions, Deezy. There are so many that we have to ask. And in particular, we need to be asking who benefits and who has access, right? The biggest thing. You talked about accessibility by way of user interface, having something be feel approachable by the average person, right? And have the same kind of usability as your Gmail or your iPhone or anything else that you use on a day-to-day basis. And I think that those are important questions to ask as well. But I really think that the ethics, that they have to come first. And we have to accelerate those conversations in public forums like this and with friends and family. We have to discuss this. The human element, the moment that we lose sight of it, it's the event horizon on the edge of a black hole. And we're so much closer than most people realize. Very few people really get it. I prepared some comments for this actually because I knew we were going to be talking about ChatGPT 4. So let me just read. I'm going to turn my eye line away from the camera for a minute because I prepared some comments.
You're not in a trade, are you?
I'm not in a trade. It might be a video game, but I mean, I can be forgiven for that.
League of Legends. Yeah,
right. But I understand and empathize with the fears and concerns surrounding the development and use of AI technologies like ChatGPT 4. While it's true that these technologies have the potential to disrupt certain industries and impact employment, it's important to recognize that they also bring numerous benefits that can contribute to human well-being, innovation, and growth. Firstly, it's important to acknowledge that throughout history, technological advancements have caused shifts in the workforce. They've also consistently led to the creation of new jobs and new opportunities and industries. We have to focus on leveraging the positive aspects of AI because it's already here, such as increasing productivity, reducing repetitive tasks, enabling new forms of innovation, proactively mitigating the negative impacts of repetitive work. Secondly, as AI technologies become more advanced, they can help us address some of the world's most pressing challenges, from climate change to healthcare to, boring data entry. By enhancing our ability to tackle these issues, AI has the potential to vastly improve the quality of life and create new opportunities for people globally. And I don't want to read all of my comments here. Let me just finish by saying, as we continue to develop and refine AI technologies like ChatGPT 4, it's crucial for all stakeholders to engage in open, constructive dialogue. But again, I'll just say, we have to fast track ethics. This will allow us to work together to harness the power of AI in ways that benefit humanity and minimize potential harm. Oh, by the way, that was entirely written by ChatGPT.
A plot twist at the end. Are you M. Night Shyamalan? Altcoin Daily. How do you say his last name, by the way?
Shyamalan.
Mind Your Biz ended up taking it. Tim almost had it. Tim, I almost hit you with the 2 points real quick. I wasn't sure where you're going to go with it. But Mind Your Biz, it was your background. Feel free, take us away with some parting thoughts, please.
Well, much appreciated that you had me back on the show. Really appreciate these three fine gentlemen that I shared a panel with today. They're absolute ballers, Chad status, Giga Chads in their own right. Obviously, you're going to go take a look at their channels. I did ask for ChatGPT to leave you a parting gift as well. And this is what it dropped to some bars. It said, AI is here to stay. Let's find common ground. Innovation, progress, new chances abound. Upskilling, reskilling, the workforce will see a future where humans and AI live in harmony.
Ooh. All right. That's all we got. And hey, who typed in Nickelback? I'm actually not kidding. I know who you are. That's all we got. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you follow everyone's. Links are in the description below. Till next time.